was, established actually by, there's one gentleman in particular that needs to get credit on the founding of NetHope, and that is Mr. Ed Happ, who is a colleague and friend of mine who basically, when he was in the private sector for much of his career. He was on Wall Street as a CIO in the technology and consulting area, and went to Save the Children to basically as their CIO. While he was there, he saw so much opportunity to work together with other NGOs, and even in particular Save the Children, because they're very federated, as many nonprofits. So Save the Children in the U.S. did not necessarily share systems or information or anything else with the UK or Sweden or whatever. So Ed wrote a paper called Wiring the Global Village to say we needed to work together collaboratively on the last 100 miles, last 10 miles, whatever we wanted to call it. And that paper was then picked up by Cisco, was very interested in the concept. And another gentleman by the name of Deepak Basu was basically seconded to help Ed work on the concept, and actually spent a couple of years to promote the concept, and then come to various NGOs to become a part of that. NetHope is now an actual nonprofit of its own, based in the U.S. Status of a nonprofit. I was at Plan at the time, and we joined as one of the 10. There were 7 original and then 10 founding members. And there's now 32 members, or 34, and that includes Save the Children, Red Cross, World Vision, Nature Conservancy, and recently Habitat for Humanity and others. So probably we work in pretty much every country. There must be a NetHope and about 35 plus billion in revenue at least. But I think the essence of NetHope is the same. It was nonprofit CIOs that basically said, we don't compete at this level. How do we basically work together? And I think it touched the hearts of many, and also the opportunities, because we also have some of the best partners in the world. Cisco, I mentioned, Microsoft, Accenture, Intel. They put a lot of their own, sponsor us, but more so, they give us resource and expertise at our conferences and to work on projects together globally.
I mean, congratulations, Kelvin. The work that NetHope does comes as a result of that group of people you mentioned, including yourself, that got together and made NetHope happen, and it's been a very good thing. So you deserve credit for that.
Thanks, Peter. And I think the other thing I failed to mention is that last year was our 10th anniversary, and we had our yearly summit in Dublin, and that was hosted by Intel. So we were able to basically have pretty much the 34 members along with many of the partners, and have an actual tour of the Intel chip making plant, which was just amazing as an opportunity to see the innards of what we all work on as technologists.
So looking more broadly, Kelvin, at technology and NGOs, what do you feel are the main challenges that NGOs face in their use of technology?
I think the main challenges we face are, one is because of this digital divide. The solutions that we all work on here cannot work in many cases in the developing world. We just don't have, we talk cloud. Well, if you don't have connectivity, it's hard to do cloud. So one of the things we find is you really need to have occasionally connected solutions, like an Outlook, where, if you're online, you can move your data across, but if you're not, you can still continue to work. I think the big challenges are the same things that the ethos of why NetHope was created. Nonprofits do never have enough money or resource to get the technology that is required. And it's sort of like, how long is a piece of string? And I think the other is, the biggest problem is, in many cases, funders won't pay for technology. They think of it as an overhead. So what ends up happening is the complaints you get from nonprofits over and over again, they're reinventing the wheel. Because everybody does their own mobile solution until you can't leverage it. Everybody has their own monitoring evaluation. So you basically, every project you do that. Within organizations, they start to help to maybe, even within organizations, it's disparate. So I think the coming together with certain standards would be helpful. I think the way we're trying to do it at NetHope, and many others are trying to do this now too, is to leverage connectivity, work together. You know, we've got some progress. We have a partnership in NetHope with USAID called the GBI partnership, and with the Global Broadband Initiative, we are actively trying to get funders and NetHope members to help get connectivity and more than connectivity solutions into various places.
Thank you. And the University of Waterloo and NetHope have now had a relationship for 6 years that you and I have been part of, Kelvin. What do you see as, you know, from NetHope's point of view, what do you see as the benefits of that relationship?
I think, you know, from the time we first, you know, came to Waterloo with the chairman of NetHope, you know, and ourselves to sign the MOU, I think the opportunity to, you know, I mentioned that, you know, NetHope works a lot with the corporates. We have the NGO sector, and for me, the opportunity to have the academic into that mix is phenomenal, because your students and having the such a prestigious organization as Waterloo allows us to get deeper into research than we would ourselves. It puts an opportunity to consolidate information and to analyze that and then share that with members. I think we've now had 7 projects, Peter. All of that information is public information. It's up on our website, at least for our members that look at it. Everything from our initial project, which is around project management best practices within the NGO sector and beyond, to our you know, projects on the Tanzania Beyond Tomorrow around you know, the best use of or how to get better field, you know, with connectivity in places that don't have electricity, looking at alternatives and such. So I think, you know, all of our you know, programs, to the last program with Red Cross, where we were looking at the internet cafes and looking to see if we could have a model of a business model for that, for the Red Cross and beyond. But I think what's great is, you know, from our perspective, it's fantastic to get that research. But also, I think from a student perspective, I hope it's great for them to get a real world look at what it's like to work in an NGO, but also what it's like to work in this, you know, in so many time zones, in being faced with Skype, as we both were in Uganda and other places, and trying to have those calls when it was constantly going up and down. And I think beyond that, it's an opportunity to contribute and see, you know, other alternatives once people graduate, a whole other sector that they may find of interest. So I think it's multifaceted, and I think it's a wonderful partnership.
I think so too. I think that was a very good summary of what the relationship's all about. So the final question I've got for you, Kelvin, is that the students that you're talking to are typically you know, going to be going out into the world of work quite soon, and they'll be moving on into their careers. You've been in your career for a couple of years longer than they have been, and it's an opportunity to pick up experience and knowledge. And so what I like to do at the end of these interviews is to ask, just to ask the interviewee, what advice would you like to give to the students? What one nugget of advice would you give them as they move into the world of work?